and welcome to Roll for Sanity, where we become mythos investigators in the world of Call of Cthulhu role-playing. And welcome to all the new investigators joining us since the last vid. Today we're going to be looking at another one of the Lovecraftian occupations listed in the player's handbook, a doctor of medicine. You'd think an investigator that can spot hidden and fire a gun with the best of them and can stop people from dying would be a little more popular. But in all the games of Call of Cthulhu I've played, medical doctors are rarely a member of the party. And for some extra fun, we'll be upgrading our investigator into a hero from Pulp Cthulhu, a doctor of medicine straight from the pages of a noir comic strip. So, have your Pulp Cthulhu book, along with your investigator's handbook, ready. Where would Sherlock Holmes be without Dr. Watson? This is a great example of what a doctor can be. Yes, a white lab coat will be worn when working in a hospital, but a leather biker jacket or a pith helmet would look equally as good on an investigator. Doctors should have a high level of intelligence or education as a characteristic to make sure they have enough points to give them a good medical skill. But a backstreet doctor who knows how to patch up bullet wounds is just as welcome in a mix of investigators. In an adventure, doctors are fun to play. As being a person of science and experimentation, the signs of the supernatural can be hard to reconcile. If the adventure runs into multiple sessions, then the healing ability of the doctor is very much needed, as is their ability to stop characters from dying. A doctor should have an inquisitive mind, as every encounter with the mythos is a chance to learn. I've never been a character to do a dissection of a deep one or a ghoul, but should the opportunity arise, then the doctor-investigator would have a wealth of material to consider. Imagine where their research could take them, a tour of the world, or perhaps a tour of a padded cell as they lose their minds. How will our doctor shape up? Will they be straight-laced and well-educated, or the more rough-and-ready type that didn't stick around to get those qualifications? Let's feed the dice to Cthulhu and roll for sanity.
Personal attributes.
Strength 12. Dexterity 12. Intelligence 12. Constitution 13. Appearance 10. Power 13. Size 9. Education 18. Luck 8. A nice set of rolls, capped off with that education score. Now, remember, to get our attribute scores, we take our dice rolls and multiply them by 5. So that is strength, 60, dexterity, 60. Current intelligence is 60. Constitution is 65. Appearance, very average 50. Power, 65. Size, 45, a little diminutive in size, but a pulp level of education at 90, and luck of 40. We are rolling up a pulp doctor, so we need to start with a pulp archetype that can give us that occupation choice. Looking at the archetypes, starting on page 15 of the Pulp Cthulhu book, the steadfast archetype can be a doctor of medicine. It would take our constitution attribute to pulp levels, as well as provide the first aid skill that comes with the archetype. The scholar archetype could be better, as that comes with the medicine skill, but we already have a pulp level on our education attribute. So we'll choose the egghead archetype, as taking our intelligent to pulp levels along with that education attribute score is just too good a chance to miss. Check with your keeper, though, what the hero's core characteristic will be. Some like to set it to the max of 90 or even 95 for great heroes, but on page 23 of the Pulp Handbook, it suggests that a player roll 1d6 and multiply the results by 13. Today, though, our core characteristic of intelligence will be 90, a super smart hero with some of the best education in the world. Before we dive into the crazy skill points we have to spend, let's look at the hit points, which is con added to size, then divide the total by 5 to give us our pulp hit points. Rounding down any fractions, that gives us a hit point score of 20. Could be better, but I don't think our doctor is going to be a fighter. And with strength and size coming in at less than 135, there is no damage bonus, but our move rate is 9, as our strength and dexterity are both larger than size. Sanity points are the same as our POW, and a loss of 13 points will be needed to send our Doctor of Medicine into madness. Okay folks, I think our dice rolls mean we have the maximum points attainable for a Pulp Cthulhu Investigator. We get 100 points from Archetype skills, 360 for Occupation skills, and 180 for Personal skills. We'll break it down as we go along, but with this amount of skill points, we can get carried away and spread them too thinly. So, Archetype skills first. As we've chosen the Egghead archetype, our hero can have the Weird Science skill to build a great mad scientist device to help in their investigations. I've seen Egghead characters create an Iron Man suit of armour and another create a flying machine. To start then, let's divide out 100 points of the archetype skills to the Weird Science skills listed on page 87 of the Pulp Cthulhu Handbook. Electrical repair, 30, mechanical repair, 30, computer use, 30, and we'll have science chemistry, 10 points there.
Occupation skills.
Next, we get to spend 360 occupation skill points from our education ×4 from the Doctor of Medicine occupation. First, we'll need lots of money for our crazy contraptions, so we'll max out our credit rating at 80. Naturally, we want to be good at first aid and medicine, so we'll put these up to 70. Check with your keeper what the maximum for a Pulp hero skill would be in your game. Your keeper may let you take the skill all the way up to 90, but that's a lot of skill points to spend when a 70% chance and a luck spend might be enough. We've already spent over half our points on being a rich doctor, so we'll skip Latin and put a usable level of points into our psychology and the same into our science biology. I'm not too sure how much pharmacy skills will be needed, so we'll drop just 21 points here, giving us 40 points to put into psychoanalysis as our personal or era speciality. For our interpersonal skill, how about we pick Intimidate? Not all doctors need to be happy, smiling and approachable, so our doctor has the ability to scare information out of people.
Personal skills.
Our core Pulp attribute of intelligence has given us 180 skill points to spend on a hero with a great set of skills already for a doctor. But in the tough investigative world of the mythos, what extra do they need? First, they need the core skills all investigators need to stay alive and investigate. So we'll add 30 points to the half dex score, which makes up the base percentage skill of dodge, taking that to 62. Let's bring library use up to 50, spot hidden up to 50, and let's help their weird science knowledge with an extra 20 points into electrical repair, mechanical repair, and computer use. Plus, let's get them away from the science side of things into the esoteric by putting 35 points into occult. And that's all our points spent on 17 skills to make our heroic Doctor of Medicine. But there's another step to make them even more of a hero.
Pulp talents.
Pulp heroes have talents that are the icing on their cake. Talents start on page 25 of the Pulp Cthulhu Handbook and are grouped into physical talents that the hero's body can do, combat talents to help them fight, mental talents based around knowledge and the mind, and miscellaneous talents which pick up all the ones that don't fit into the other categories. We can pick 2 talents as our hero is mid-pulp, and the first we choose is Weird Science, so they may build and repair weird science devices. We've mentioned weird science a lot in this video, but what does it do? Our hero can build devices ahead of their time. That could be a jetpack, or a two-way communication device, or a computer that can translate text. The Pulp Cthulhu Handbook mentions a transporter between the Earth and the Moon. That sounds like something a mad scientist would build. Well, our hero is that mad scientist. Usually for the second talent, I pick something that makes up for a bad skill roll. So I've had a character with below average constitution and gave them the endurance talent for a bonus die on constitution rolls. Our Doctor of Medicine is pretty good with their attributes, so we'll go for something to support their weird science. Part of me wants to start them with the mythos knowledge talent, so they have 10 points in Cthulhu mythos, but I think the talent handy will work better, as they can reduce the level of difficulty or gain a bonus die on mechanical and electrical repair rolls, so an extreme difficulty roll comes down to needing a hard success. Very handy.
The finishing touches.
Our character is 43-year-old Dr. Ezekiel Brain, that's Brayne, known to Ez as his friends, an egghead doctor of medicine, inventor and therapist. His natural intelligence helped him find his way through the transitional Uganda kingdom, from the prosperous cotton growing to the conflicts it faced. Money was made selling plans of clever inventions to help with cotton picking, but that was put aside during the Great War, where he served as a doctor. After the war, he travelled to America with his business manager, where further profit was made from additional sales of his patents on his devices, allowing him time and money to rediscover his love of inventing. A credit rating of 80 means that we see from page 57 of the Investigator's Handbook that he always carries a clip of $400 on him and has a spending level of 250. So that fits first-class travel, maybe a driver and a house and investments worth $40,000. Gear and possessions will naturally be his white coat and a bag, but you will usually find him wearing a suit. Always to hand is his weird science gadget that he built called a frontal lobe assisting strobe healing device, or a flash device for short, that can help a person forget what they have just seen, for a few minutes at least. Enough time, hopefully, to get them to safety. Ez has never been one for the spotlight. With such intelligence, he never found forms of spiritual belief with which he could connect. Instead, he works behind the scenes, believing celebration of achievements isn't needed when the world can just get on and use what you have given it. Significant people for a wealthy hero doctor? That would be his secretary and lifelong friend, George Ardaway. Ez could not do without George, who serves as the business manager, confidant, and long-suffering test subject of the experiments of Ez. Meaningful locations will be Mengo Palace in Kampala, where Ez met George working as a translator who told Ed he had successfully become a qualified doctor. Treasured possession? We'll say this is a mysterious metal that Ez was given to him by a trader he only knew as Mr. Cloud, who told him to do something clever with it. And of course, there has been encounters with strange entities. Working as a medic for a mining company, he was called into a tunnel where workers were in trouble. He found 2 dead and another babbling in a state of insanity. There was a low hum that made Ez nauseous and so sick he had to leave, but the surviving miner would not come with him. As Ez fell into unconsciousness, he saw what he described as a lobster-like creature covered in fungus removing the top of the still-conscious miner's skull. That just about wraps it up for our heroic doctor and his gadget. I hope you'll subscribe so you know when I post a short video on how your investigator can make their own weird science gadget. Please feel free to visit the blog at www.rollforsanity.com. That's a number 4. Thanks for watching, and we'll roll for sanity again soon.